Welcome back. A new and, dare we say, knowledgeable report finds that a key Senate contest has significantly narrowed. The Cook Political Report with Amy Walter has shifted the Wisconsin race between Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin and Republican challenger Eric Hovde from lean Democrat to toss-up. In August, surveys from the Cook Political Report found Baldwin leading Hovde by 7 points. Now, its latest polling shows the Democratic lawmaker holding a 2-point edge over Hovde. Senate and Governor's editor for the Cook Political Report, Jessica Taylor, joins us now. Jessica, always great to have you with us.
Great to be back.
What's going on in Wisconsin?
I think sort of Wisconsin is Wisconsining in a way. This is probably the
meaning a long history of very close statewide elections.
Right. The last Senate race there in 2022 was decided by a point. You know, Baldwin.
String of governor's races for almost 2 decades, yes. Very close.
Yeah, it is probably maybe the most closely divided state we have in the country, is close to a 50-50 state. And I think that, you know, we have seen, this is the story in a lot of these Senate races, that you saw Republicans sort of underperforming Trump's numbers. They're sort of beginning to consolidate. And, you know, our polling, again, as you said, showed a big jump in the poll from our last survey in August. And this mirrors both Republican and Democratic internal polling that I've seen in the state, where this is a margin of error race. And I think, you know, as the presidential race goes, there's a good chance the Senate race could go as well.
That's why we have Jessica here in the Cook Political Report with Amy Walter, because not only do you evaluate things that everyone can see, you talk to the campaigns, and sometimes, for their own benefit, they share their internal data, which gives you a better granular sense of where races are.
Yeah, a lot of this internal data is more targeted. It can focus more in. And so, you know, we look at the public polling too, but we do see a lot of private data. And so, you know, we're not publishing that, but it's when we're talking with our sources that we see
it informs your judgment, moving these things from one category to another. Talk to us about Michigan and Ohio.
So Michigan is another one that I think, you know, internal polling over the past few weeks has had this
open race.
It's an open seat race. It's the most competitive open seat race on the map there, with Democrat Alyssa Slotkin and Republican Mike Rogers. You have Rogers, a former FBI agent, Slotkin, a former CIA analyst. But, you know, I think they have their first debate tonight, in fact. So I think, you know, Slotkin is ahead slightly, but I think it's still a very close race. We're watching this one. You know, both Michigan and Wisconsin have seen millions of dollars of infusions from national Republicans, from the Senate Leadership Fund, the major super PAC aligned with Senate Leader Mitch McConnell. And then Ohio is probably the truest toss-up that we have at this juncture.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, this is a race that, you know, Sherrod Brown, in a state that Trump carried twice by 8 points. He's running against Republican Bernie Moreno. Now, Republicans did release an internal poll there today showing it tied, but some of the polls we've seen have had Brown with a small but consistent lead. His opponent, Bernie Moreno, I think has sort of been underperforming Trump's numbers there. He's been slower to consolidate the Trump base. It's not that much different than the 2022 race there, where J.D. Vance was also lagging behind for much of the race. I think that Brown has just overwhelmed him on spending. And, you know, Moreno, he's been hit for things he said about abortion rights and things in the state. He's sort of been assailed by Democratic attacks on that and on his businesses. But, you know, Brown still very tough to win in a presidential year in that state.
So if anyone was looking at the numbers, meaning the polling data, 2 months ago, they would have seen these Democrats running ahead of Kamala Harris. Now, she was newly minted then.
Right.
Now things seem to be getting closer in the sense that they're running about the same numbers. Does that strike you, Jessica, as things just reverting to where they should be, or a trend that is possibly worrisome for some of these Democrats?
I think they're reverting to a little bit of where they should be. In 2016, we saw every single Senate race go the same way as the presidential race. In 2020, only Susan Collins managed to win re-election, even as Biden carried her state. So I think in these sort of blue wall states, we are seeing some of that, you know, sort of coming
convergence.
Convergence, exactly. I will say 2 races where we aren't seeing that, though, are in Arizona and Nevada. Those are races we still rate as lean Democratic, but we've seen the Democrats have much larger leads in there. I think you have a weaker opponent in Arizona with Carrie Lake, who's still, you know, behind significantly, even as some polls have had Trump winning the state. And I think in Nevada, Sam Brown had the potential to be a stronger candidate. He hasn't raised as much money, I think, as he needed to. Democrat Jackie Rosen has really been able to overwhelm him on fundraising and put out a big lead there.
Jessica Taylor, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for being here.